I don't know who this is, but it's not yours to carry. It's not yours to carry. Baby, you're putting too much on you. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Welcome back, my pretty.
Do I have anything I
No, do I?
Okay, no, you're good.
Switchcraft,
Welcome,
baby.
welcome to another episode of After We Wrap. I am your host, Jaina Lee Ortiz.
And I am the Wicked Witch of Puerto Rico.
say the West. We are currently dressed in witch costumes because I believe we are witches. Good
We
witches.
are, deep down. I believe it.
Actually, okay, let's just get right to it because I'm really excited about today's guest.
Yes.
Please welcome actress, singer, philanthropist, and one of the most beautiful souls you will ever meet, Jacqueline Grace Lopez.
Yeah,
welcome. I actually remember texting her one night and telling her, "You are a witch. You have a gift. You are connected." And she was like, "Yes, you have opened up a channel."
And then I gave you that bracelet. I know. I was like, now close it.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what it is? That how it happened?
Yeah, legitimately. Because she was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting all these downloads. I'm like, okay, but you got to stop it or else you won't go to sleep. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, how do I do
That's
that?
probably why
You were
I haven't been
having-
sleeping.
You were having an episode that night.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. So hi, how
Oh my
are
gosh,
you?
hi.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
you.
Thanks for having
Looking-
me.
Like the
I know,
goddess that
were
you are.
Thank you. I was just about to say, can we just take a moment and
Yes.
appreciate her costume right now?
By the way, she walked in and she was like, boom, 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 done, ready. I didn't even give me a chance to say, how you been?
I know she was so.
I was
ready.
running, but because they always say if you're on time, you're late. So I was on time, which meant I was late.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, you know what? Let me just get in there. And then she greets me at the door, already done, like medieval times over here. I entered the Renaissance fair, and I was just like, damn it, I need to get my Botticelli on. So I like went upstairs. I'm like, let me get in my outfit before I say hi to everyone,
I know.
and then I can say hi.
Yes.
So that
yes.
was that.
And I love it. She set the mood with the
did.
sage.
You have to
Yeah.
clear the space. Have to
It's
clear the
always honestly, and I'm not just saying this, but I think being a little more open to it, or just sort of having awareness and recognizing energies. Like whenever I'm with you, I feel like there's a higher frequency of energy of some sort. It's really, I mean, it's trippy, but like in a positive way.
I love that.
It's not like, I'm so scared.
no,
no,
thank
it's
you.
very
I
like,
accept that. That's wonderful.
it's open, it's clear, it's all amazing things.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So, okay, we've seen you in commercials, some TV shows. We've heard your voice in video games and audiobooks, and the list goes on. we wanted to know, what is your mantra as an artist in this unpredictable industry?
Mantra. That's a really good one.
I know. I hit you with it hard.
Dang, girl.
It's-
I didn't even get any of the prep.
I know.
I know.
If you-
Just deep. We can always go back to it.
No, I
But-
think, well, it's
Like,
hard
what
to
is a mantra? Like, what? Because even I read this and I was like, I don't know what my mantra
Well, you know what? I
is.
will say this. In a weird way, my mantra is my name. So when I first started in this industry, I started as Jacqueline Grace because we needed to be ethnically ambiguous because there were such limited roles for people of color. And then as I started moving along, I recognized I didn't want to hide behind ambiguity. I wanted to be able to lead with my name, to say what I wanted to be. And so I added the Lopez, but there was a part of me that was like, well, maybe I'll get rid of the Grace. Maybe I'll get rid of that. And I didn't, because now what I move forward with is Jacqueline Grace Lopez is my real name, is what's on the birth cert.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of me. It's authentically me. It is every ounce of me. And it is the mantra that I lead with my name. Essentially, I bring it to the table so that whenever I'm committed to a project, be it an audiobook, be it showing up in costume, you get every ounce of me. You get every
100%.
label of me.
I did not know that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's something we have in common, because I was actually thinking of removing my last name. Remember? I mentioned that, and it's like that's you. That's just
That's who you are, and we shouldn't have to minimize who we are in the spaces that we enter. They need to make space for us. And that's, you know, and I come across that all the time. Am I being too much? Am I being no. If I enter with my name, that's ground floor, man. Like that's essentially it. Yeah. So that's something that really I pride myself on. And then if we really, really, really look into the breakdown of a name, my name in French means the supplanter. And grace is grace. And the idea is that I help plant the seeds for grace. So if you really, you know, it's like a fire starter of some sort. I had a friend of mine who was also named Jacqueline. I'm like, what the hell does supplanter mean? Can we cuss on this show?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
I was like, what the hell does supplanter mean? And technically it means some, you know, when the seeds are gone, you put more seeds in. And so that's it. But she was like, you're the fire starter. That's what we are. We start things. And so if I can start more grace, and then Lopez is, you know, of the wolf, if you really break it down in Latin, but also just being a Latino name. So making space for grace, for our identity, for what we represent, for the blood we carry.
I love that.
I love that.
And, you know, ever since I've known you, you have this thing about planting seeds and manifesting, and the idea of like what's meant for you will be for you in that time. You are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And I've seen that like since when did we meet? Like what? 2019. 2019. Yeah. And just with, you know, kind of the trajectory of your career, you know, the ups and downs and obviously like, you know, the opportunities, the getting so close and your perspective on it. I've seen the shift. I've seen it happen where you're like, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to, I've had the opportunities. I'm going to like move on and I've witnessed it from, you know, from then until now, like seeing you work consistently and just, you know, work begets work and, you know,
it's flow, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that any time that we try to force anything, it's not going with the current of things. If you really think about it.
Yeah.
But it is so difficult. It is so difficult because we're having, you know, not to get super metaphoric, but technically we're all energy beings. We're having a human experience right now. And the humanity of it wants us to control as much as possible. It is so safe to control. But the reality is the universe was born out of chaos. Things are born out of chaos. We don't have an easy time coming into this world as babies. That's kind of nature, and we forget about that. And I think that it's very easy when you're feeling at your lowest to be, why isn't this working in my favor? And I think the biggest issue at hand is, well, what if it is working for you the way it needs to? I had my therapist one time said something that just, honestly, it reset everything for me. Whereas I was talking about a situation, and he said, is there a right and a wrong answer to this question? Or this experience? Was there a right experience and a wrong experience? And I said, yeah, I think he was like, do you assign value to the outcomes of experiences in your life? Is there a right experience? Is there a wrong one? And I said, yeah, I do actually. And he goes, well, what if there is no right or wrong? What if one just takes you a little longer to get to your destination?
Ooh.
And the minute you take the binary off of every decision you make, the pressure's off. Now you get to just exist. Now you just get to be.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Her mom's
That's beautiful. Huh?
You
read me?
Yeah. She's just like taking it all. Gabby's like, yes.
I don't know what's happening
hear
with
you.
you,
Yeah.
but I'm just like absorbing it.
Yeah.
And I
You
just
can
kinda,
hear
like,
it,
go into
right?
shock.
Yeah.
Because you look back on every single time, like how many times have you looked at a photo of yourself when you were a kid and you were like, man, I was too hard on myself?
All the time.
How many freaking times? Because we ascribed that was the wrong and that was the right.
Right.
And there was no wrong or right, baby.
Yeah.
Like it took a little longer to get to where you are right now.
Now I look at pictures of me when I'm younger and I'm like, I need to bring that little girl
Baby.
back.
Yes.
Like, come back inside.
And she's there.
You're still in here.
She's
Yeah.
there.
We just gotta let her come out a little bit and let her shine. And
If you ever, what really wonderful and really therapeutic meditation that I do sometimes is when you're doing your meditation, focus on like growing a light from your heart space, and then visualize pulling that space out and then shaping that into your inner child, and just understand that that's what that light is, and just be like, what do you need right now? Give it a hug, just all that stuff.
Yes.
I feel seen.
You feel seen, you feel heard, you feel safe. I'm cradling you like a little baby.
And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So who is there a person that inspired you to become an actress? I actually don't know this.
No, it's so
Curious.
funny. It wasn't this is going to sound real weird. It wasn't a person, it was a show. And it was the X-Files. It was the X-Files, and it was right after Fight the Future, after the first movie in 1996.
Oh, damn.
And
Specificity, okay?
she's a nerd. So what happened was I got into the X-Files because of the movie. And then after the movie, I was watching the series after, and also back then we actually watched television. So FX was airing 100 Nights of the X-Files. So I was able to catch up. But I remember in that moment being like, wow, here's a show at the time. Okay, I'm going to redcon all the new stuff. But at the time, here was a show that didn't take advantage of its audience, that actually wanted the audience to be as smart as the people on the show. Like,
I appreciate that so much.
And just the fact that they could have these conversations and this gravity on this show, I just remember being like, and it can translate into the movies. Like, I'm sorry, at the time it was unless you were like Star Trek or something, you didn't go from the movies back to television, back to the movies. And I was like, wait, I can be in something like this? That's fire. So that's really what it came down to for me, was I was like, I want to see if I can pursue this, to see if I can get on a show like that, And since then it's evolved. But at the time it was, there's a world where I get to play make-believe.
Yeah.
And if I can get a script like that and tell a story like that, let's go.
Yeah. Well, did you, was there someone who you saw yourself in?
Or when was the first time that you saw you think you saw
You're
yourself?
like, oh,
I kind of look like her. Oh, wow.
Well, that took a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't until Gina on Jane the Virgin where I really saw myself. Because mind you, like when I was growing up, we had the Evelyn Gorias and we had the Salma Hayeks, but they're sexy, and I was wearing glasses in the 3rd grade, like I had 2 big teeth. I had it wasn't that I was awkward, but I definitely grew into my looks. I still feel like I'm growing into my being comfortable in my own body. But at the time, having people that were our skin tone being bombshells, that was not a world I felt like I could inhabit, because I just didn't look that way. So that was a big thing for me. So like visibly, probably not until Jane the Virgin.
What about America Ferrera in Ugly Betty?
I know, because she's fair skinned. She's fair skinned. Like it is that much of a color gradient issue. But it is because and also I wasn't the biggest fan of that show either. Like I never got into Ugly Betty. And growing up, it wasn't like, oh, we have to support our community. Like I wasn't as vehement about it as I am now. But at the time, I was like, oh, I don't like this show. I really don't. But I mean, yeah, definitely. Like I just remember being, if there was anyone, I would say, what kept me invested in the X-Files was that Dana Scully was a character of science. And she was short. And then if you do the deep dive into what the X-Files was about, when she was actually auditioning for the role, Fox executives kept trying to throw blonde bombshells in for the part of Dana Scully. And it was actually the creator of the show that had to fight for her.
Wow.
And that was, and look at where she is now and what that show is now.
Shout out to Chris Carter.
Shout out to Chris Carter. Yeah. And so that was a big thing back then, was I was like, oh, she was the other, and she was the one that they had to fight for, and look what she could do.
Right.
And and it's funny how those parallels happen in your life, but I think being a person of science and being shorter than the average bear and being the non-lead bombshell that the 90s usually wanted, that was probably what I identified with.
Wow. So now that you're in Hollywood doing the thing.
Doing
it. what is the thing that you look forward to after a long day on set? Do you have any rituals?
That's a good question. It really depends on if I have work the next day.
True. Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like you're right back in it.
Yes.
But my grandma practically raised me when I was a kid, and she was a big cook in the kitchen kind of situation. So I try to like treat myself to something, like a little bite of something, like if it's like a slice of chocolate cake or if it's like an ice cream or something. I think I do that. And usually if I'm on set for an extended period of time, I don't like eating when I'm filming. Like I don't like eating full meals. But what I'll usually do is if they have Crafty, I'll go to Crafty. I'll be like, can you give me a to-go box? And then I just load that up and then I eat when I'm at home. And it's just this like ritual of eating after a long day and the gratitude, just sitting in the gratitude of it and just being like, I did the thing. Like that was fun. I did the thing. Kick my feet up, take my makeup off because them pores clog, honey.
Yeah,
and,
you can't go to bed with makeup. You can't go to bed with
Not
makeup.
anymore. God, remember in our 20s?
Remember those days?
You just be like,
Wake up all
still here.
you see the next morning.
Let's go again. Now, like I leave it on for an hour after I film. I get like a breakout somewhere. It's the worst.
Yeah.
Like gosh, every time I'm on a set, I'm like, do you have a hot towel?
Oh,
I just
yeah.
need to
The hot towels are the best.
My face off immediately after. And
That's
if
good.
not,
That's
it's
good.
worse.
That's a good little routine.
It's a great routine. When I first learned about that, I was like, tell me more about your secret.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you have great skin.
You do.
Amazing
Thank
skin.
you.
Yeah,
I
you both
appreciate
do. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
stop
Like,
it. You too. I mean, thank you. Yes. I'm
Yes.
accepting the compliment.
Thank you, mirror, mirror.
Yeah, thank you, mirror, mirror.
That's it.
I love that.
It's just, we amplify the virtues that we see in other people are seeds that we've planted in ourselves or seeds we want to grow. And then the things we don't like in other people are the things that we are not liking about ourselves. So that's why it's mirror, mirror. So a lot of times if you can't take the compliment, it's very easy to just say mirror, mirror and just be like that. What you see in me, I reflect back to you.
I know. Last night, Shane gave me a compliment like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're about to shoot with this photographer. You're very photogenic. It'll be great. And I was like, thank you. But I was like really silly in taking the compliment. And Gabby said, no, you are.
Yeah. But the physicality was like rejecting it and then coming back into it. I was like, girl.
I know. Mirror, mirror.
Mirror, mirror.
Mirror, mirror,
that.
baby.
Baby.
All right, we're going to get a little deep here. What would you say is the best advice someone has ever given you?
Ooh.
And it could be light, it could be deep, it could be anything. I mean, I actually hate this question. I don't know why. I don't know
then why
I
are we
asked her.
asking it?
I don't know, because I feel like she has some great nuggets
She does.
in there.
Nuggets.
She's always got a
She
good
does.
gold nugget.
Just
one.
little
No,
nugget.
she's wearing a gold crown. I mean, we could get back to that.
Maybe, yeah. It's just there's so
There's
much.
There's just so many. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm grabbing here.
Don't you grab my hat.
No.
I will get
You're
you.
gonna bite me?
Great advice.
I know.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
You don't
Or
have
would-
to.
in the let's specify it in the industry, in this business. Like,
Actually, a really good one that I felt was my breakthrough that really got me to where I am now is I was cast as the lead of the Jane the Virgin spinoff.
Yes, she was.
And so I remember being on set. It was just a whirlwind. And I didn't know how to comport myself because of the fact that I had never been in that position before. Up until that point, I had gotten like a guest star, but it was only like a couple of days. I think up until that point, I had only been booking co-stars. So I was literally shot out of a cannon. And I'll never forget, I was on set. They were still wrapping the last season of Jane the Virgin, so they invited me to set to watch them film. And one of the things I'll never forget is Gina pulls me aside and she goes, when you're the lead, it starts with you. So whatever energy you put out there, it trickles down. And I remember because I had done a lot of theater. I come from theater. From the theater. And when she said that immediately, I was like, oh, that means that I can create the environment I want for the set that I want, for the energy that I want. And, there's a lot of factors that come into that, right? I mean, we have our showrunners, we have producers, we have a lot of tiers of people. But what you can do as the creative on-camera talent is basically set the energy that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully, especially if you're, higher on the call sheet, people can take the cue that this is how we act on set.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we're allowed, the permission we're allowed on set. And I just remember being like, well, I want this group to feel like theater. Because in theater, you're doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're an actor one day, you're handing out programs the next, you're helping paint the set one day, and then, like, you're in the trenches with each other. And so I remember I was like, well, I can't, write an email memo to everyone, and be like,
So this is the way we're gonna, this set is gonna operate.
But what I ended up doing is I was like, oh, we're all right. Well, let me exude that energy. Like, so if the set were the energy that I wanted, if the tone was set by me and I did achieve it, how would I feel? And I sat in that energy. So meaning to say that, well, I wanted a set that had open communication. I wanted a set where people felt that they could be heard. So I would listen. So I would basically exude that level of what I wanted. And I'm not saying we didn't have our hiccups, but I will say that it felt like a community and it felt really wonderful. And what I realized in that moment is you can do that at any level of your career. You can be there as a day player and still be kind, and you can still be listening, and you can still create that community, because guaranteed there's a background, there's a hair and makeup, there's someone that's going to be like, yo, that person set a tone that really made something for me.
Yeah.
So that was probably the best advice that I got in that moment. And then I kind of extrapolated it to apply it to, you can even apply it to auditions. You can apply it to everything. You can apply it to interviews. What is the energy that I want? What is the tone I want to set? What would my energy be in that tone, and exude that energy? And then it becomes a vacuum. So then that energy has to happen.
Wow.
Okay. I love that.
So one second, let me process
Let me
this.
take these notes right here.
Let me process this.
No, I definitely felt that on my last show, or my first show actually, Rosewood. That felt, and I don't know, maybe that's just a season 1, season 2 kind of thing, but that was, your first is always so special.
It's special, and I love, and I think that's a big thing for me. I've been, because we talk about imposter syndrome, and I don't think that I've necessarily ever gotten imposter syndrome. To me, imposter syndrome is someone invited you to the Oscars and you feel really conscious that someone's going to turn around and be like, oh, we didn't mean to invite you. I'm the person where I'm the person where if you gave me the ticket, sucks to be you. Here I am. Exactly. Let's fucking go.
Head to
Where's
toe.
the free champs? I am all about it. And so when I got put in that position, I didn't have, it became like my own mini scientific experiment because I didn't know any better. I didn't know how, this is how, number one on the call sheet works. I was just like, I would hang out with people. They're like, why are you, I would hang out with the day players. That's how I met Al. I would hang out with the co-stars, and I would just be like, what's going on, you guys? And they're like, why are you talking to us?
I love that.
It's stuff like that.
Everybody is somebody, no matter what level you're on.
Baby, we were humans before we were actors. Never forget that.
Like you were saying, today's writers are tomorrow's showrunners. I mean,
and how many people, I've been in a position, like you were saying, things line up for you. Again, whenever I get into that ego death moment where I resist, I do have moments where I go, how many people have opened doors for me that didn't have to? And we're talking casting directors. We're talking showrunners. We're talking hair and makeup people even, it's everybody in this, it's such, gosh, I understand, speaking to actors, I just don't understand actors with egos.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. You are a piece of the puzzle. But they can jigsaw another puzzle, baby. They can jigsaw another puzzle piece. So it's just and that's what I love about not only just being an actor in TV and film, but all the different vicissitudes of what acting can be, because it just shows you so many different ways to be creative, and also the people behind the cameras showing you all the different ways you can be creative in that.
Shout out to Shane and Kyle. We
love
you. We see you. We appreciate you. We are going to turn a little bit over here.
Okay.
We're going to pivot.
What are some of your pet peeves in a partner, and what turns you on?
What are pet peeves? I am a big sucker for making time for people. Like if you can't make time,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I think we're in the wrong city, to be honest. Like the fact that you guys are like unicorns. I feel like there's a lot of people in this town where it's very easy to just flake. And it's really easy.
Flake City.
What got me off of I was on dating apps for a minute, and what got me off of it was I was on my way to a date and the guy flakes on me. Like on the way to the date. And I was already on the way, so I enjoyed the date wholeheartedly by myself. Like I just was like, look, I'm going to an arcade. I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of Time Crisis 3. And you can't stop me.
That's what I love. When you could actually enjoy your own self and just sit alone at a movie theater, be it at a restaurant, and just really date yourself. That to me
I think there was a huge reckoning during COVID with a lot of people who weren't able to sit with themselves. And I think that's during the pandemic. But yeah, so pet peeves of mine are that I don't like people who aren't ambitious. Like mean what you say what you mean. Actions speak louder than words to me. That's just been something all the way through.
That is my favorite.
It really is. Like I see a lot of promise in people, but I've also known that I need to take a step back, and I'm like, everyone's on their own little journey. And you know, like if we vibe, we vibe. If we don't vibe, we don't vibe, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not my responsibility to pull you out of what you're feeling, and it's yours. And there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, I'll do this, and they never do it. Something as simple as like, oh, I'll do the dishes, and they never do the dishes. And then by the time you do the dishes, they go, I was going to do them.
Yeah.
Were you?
Would you say your love language is acts of service?
It's funny. I don't know. I don't know if it's, I know that's not the primary. For me, I think it's quality time.
Quality time. Quality time.
Because I'm the kind of person where
and physical touch.
I'm
sorry.
Yeah. She's like,
she's having a moment. She's having a moment.
Do you want us to leave you on the microphone alone and the cameras? just having a moment. No, I think for me it's quality time, and for me because I am one of those people where I can be on a drive and I don't have to say anything. It's just the vibe of what's going on, and just knowing someone's there. I think that's a really big thing for me. I also, and then maybe acts of service, like someone cooking for you, someone doing something like that. But I think there's also that release of ego sometimes, because you're like, you like something done a certain way. Like if the rice gets burnt, I'm like, friend, a friend, A for effort, but no, hands off. But yeah, I do think, so a turn on for me is, I think a turn on for me is, just making space. I do love words. I mean, you know this. I love poetry. Yes. So
I know half the time you talk to Jacqueline, I'm writing words down to look up later. Like, what does
she has said words that I've never heard of, but I didn't want to ask because I don't want to seem stupid. But yeah,
no, it's great. Ask.
You're not stupid.
If you don't,
first
if you don't
of all,
ASK,
you're
my
never
mom always
stupid.
told me, if you don't ASK, you won't GET. It's silly, but it's true. I mean,
it's true.
And you're like, damn, I should have fucking asked. I didn't. I will say, okay, I want to get into hobbies, because I feel like during this time, during the strike is still happening as we're recording this.
Yeah.
It's allowed us to take the time to figure out what we like, what our passions are, who we are without this industry. You know, if we weren't on set, if we weren't going out and auditioning for commercials and TV. So what are the I know some, but what are some of the things that a lot of people don't know that you like to do on the side of acting?
What things I like to do? I mean, I like doing a lot of philanthropy when I can. I just like giving back to the community. That's something that's really important to me. Like whenever I recognize that I don't need to, there's this one organization I love working with, but they wake up hella early on Sundays. And I'm just like, for the most part, you know, if I'm filming or if I'm doing something that requires words, I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But now that I got free time, I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah.
That's something I really love doing. I love reading. I love reading. So I've just gotten a lot more into reading and reading everything, you know, like it's a potpourri of different things. Something I do love doing is
playing with your cats. You have 2 cats.
I have my 2 cats that you're terrified of. It's really fun.
Why are you terrified? You can't trust those.
See?
Can't trust them. And then there's one that doesn't even come out. She won't come out.
She won't come out. And the funny thing is, I got her because I was like, "That's how you know you don't know shit."
Yeah.
Because I literally was like, "I'm gonna get her. She's gonna be the social one." She comes out eventually, but the stank face, I've never seen a more expressive cat. And the face she gives when she comes out, she's just like,
oh yeah,
just like,
attitude.
Who hurt you?
She's plotting. She's plotting to kill.
Yeah,
she really is.
I think she doesn't know how. That's the thing. She's such a derp.
That's even more scary.
She's the derpiest. Like she's the one where she'll like roll on her back on a chair thinking she's cute, and then she'll fall off. And then she's like, shit. Like it's amazing. And you can't help but and then she's on the floor and she's just like, I meant to do that. Like she's just so expressive. It's the cutest thing.
Oh my gosh.
I went to a cord cutting ceremony on Sunday.
A what?
Cord cutting ceremony.
That I got. A cord cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Cord cutting
ceremony.
Okay. What? Cord cutting.
What happened?
I actually didn't.
No, sometimes my brain.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes it just, but that one for me went.
Yeah.
And then she was,
and I got it.
I was
cord
like,
cutting.
Did I
Cord
stutter?
cutting.
Like what happened?
No. So you cut cords.
So the idea is that people hold you, like sometimes if you feel energetically blocked, it's because you're still attached to people energetically in your past. And so a lot of,
baby.
Well, wait, hold on a second. Pin on that. I thought she was talking about like an event happening. And then
in a weird way. Well, here's the deal. Like when you visualize it, you can visualize like an umbilical cord coming out of you.
and then it's this whole thing of like say for example, like there's an energy in your past that you want to let go of, that you feel like it's been holding you back. It's a nice meditation ceremony that allows you to release that. And it's just a really great.
Can we go?
Like, let me tell you something. Okay, so I was there on Sunday, and for the last 2 weeks, my lower back hasn't been hurting me, but it's been like I've needed to stretch it out a lot more.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this about? And so I get to the cord cutting ceremony, and we're going through the chakras of it all. And she's like, okay, so now we're going to activate. She's like, so what this woman's process is you go through your chakras, and then the one that's glowing the brightest is the one where the cord is attached. And then you're going to visualize that cord coming out of you, cutting it, releasing that energy, and being like, thank you for what you've served me for.
A version of Reiki?
Almost. Like it has, energy, yeah. But it's kind of self-serving. And there's more of like I dare say a witchy aspect to it, more so than Reiki. Reiki is just energy. Keyword. The eyebrows go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because you do refill that area with lighter energy, but the idea behind it is that, so like I was like, okay, so she's going through the chakras. She's starting from the root chakra, then she goes to the sacral chakra. She's like, that's in your lower spine, and I was like, I was like, all right, and then I visualized a cord. I cut it, no back pain.
Stop.
I'm not even kidding you.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't had back pain.
We're going.
We're all going. That's it.
It's wild, but it's really wonderful. It's I don't know how we got here, but
Hobbies.
Hobbies.
Yes.
I mean,
I don't know
and
either.
I will
That's
say,
okay.
So I think that for me, it's I don't know. It's like it's the regular we binge shows, but for me, the things that really really fill me up are just really trying to better myself as a person. I mean, we're perfectly imperfect. That's how we're supposed to be. So it's just how do I amplify my best energy to be of service to others and amplify their energy.
You also do a little tarot.
And part of that is tarot.
You do.
Tarot. Oh my gosh, I just had a deja vu.
That
For
means you were
real?
supposed to be here. That's how I
love
interpret that.
I love that. Me too. I love that. Oh my God. Yay.
Whoa, that was trippy.
That makes me so happy.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh,
This or that.
Something's happening.
Okay,
the energy
hold
is
on.
flowing.
Let's pause really
We're gonna
quick,
do this
too.
or that before the tarot. Okay, you go.
Because then we'll go
All right.
straight into tarot. Okay, this or that.
No thinking.
No
Just
thinking.
go.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Pumpkins or skulls? Black cats or ravens?
Oh, ravens.
Candy corn or caramel apple?
Caramel apple.
Okay.
Candy corn should be banned.
I know, yeah. So artificial. Pumpkin spice latte or hot apple cider?
Hot apple cider, because you can put some cider in it, baby.
Okay. All right. Okay. Full moon or dark night?
Full moon, because you release things.
Yep. Zombie apocalypse or alien invasion?
Alien invasion, because they're here, babes.
Oh, shit.
Because they're here,
wait a
and they don't
second.
want us.
Okay. Hold up.
The fact that they're here and nothing's happened.
I know.
Like, that means they're like low key. They're like, beam me up. I don't want to be here.
Wait. No, but like,
This place
like
sucks.
This place sucks.
No, but like for real, they're here. They're here.
Yeah, like the government just admitted that to there being alien life on this planet.
Yeah,
You missed that?
I did.
the face.
That was a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It was like what, like a week or?
like 2 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 2 months ago, they said the government was like, aliens are here.
So stressed out. I just want them to be tiny and cute. You know, maybe they can be little pets.
What are
do you
they gonna
think
look
they- yeah,
like?
what do you
big, like human size.
Have you? Okay, you need to watch the X.
I know.
Because
I
let me tell you about
I
these little
can't do
gray
it.
men. Okay.
All right, really quick. Classic witch or modern vampire?
Classic witch.
Hey!
Trick or treat.
What did you
Trick,
say?
Trick or treat?
Trick or treat. Trick or treat. Which is it?
Treat.
Okay. Yeah, you like a treat.
I thought you went wait, trick or treat, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? What? I was so good.
That's what I wrote.
Okay, let's.
You married it, okay? That's all I gotta say. You had a choice, so
We have a disclaimer about
Yes.
tarot cards before we get into it.
Please. Oh, I don't know what the disclaimer is.
Oh,
Just
Well, what is
disclaimer.
the most common misunderstanding about tarot readings?
Well, I mean, it's very taboo for a lot of people. I think for me, the biggest thing is it is not predictive. Like, don't go to a tarot reader and just be like, yo, all my money's on the line. Should I invest it in this stock? And go to a tarot reader
right.
and expect them to tell you.
Yeah.
Or be like, when will I get married? How will I get married? A lot of times, like, there are, like, whenever I go to a reader and they say, ask me yes or no questions, I'm very wary, because it's just, for me, the way that I envision tarot, the way that I look at tarot is, and I do believe this, I feel like as humans, we're just basically universe satellites. So we're always picking up signals. So tarot is just an amplification of that signal. Meaning to say, today I can tune into, Rock 106, and tomorrow I'm going to tune into some other FM channel. You know what I mean? Like today's station might be hip hop, tomorrow's might be pop, or top 40. So I really think that it really just changes. And also it's really up to your interpretation. So tarot is not finite. It's not predictive in the way you think. It really, at the end of the day, is entertainment. But it also, for the person who's reading it or the person who's receiving it,
Yeah.
it's also a way to check yourself, which is how I interpret it.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
how I use it.
Yes, same,
Love
same.
that.
And we are well aware that you're not some expert. You just do this for fun. I actually,
Hobby, yeah.
this is one of your hobbies. And the last time you were over, she did it at the house, and I was like, oh my god,
She's ready.
she's
Remember
so
Joy?
fucking prepared.
Joy
Oh my gosh,
was
Joy
like-
was like, babe, sis.
Sis.
You are speaking to every
Yep.
inch of my. I mean, she was moved. I was also moved. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was one of those nights. We'll do them again with pajamas.
Yay!
We'll do it in pajamas.
We gotta do a night.
Game night,
oh my
pajama
God, it was
night.
so wonderful. We sat, we sang, we danced.
Yes.
It was
Yeah,
wonderful.
we ate.
I love
we drank. We did all the
it.
things.
All of the things.
It was amazing.
That's the inner kid, baby. Those
the
are the
inner kid.
There was
sleepovers.
one question. Okay.
What happened?
Have you ever had a tarot reading that led a significant change or decision in someone's life?
That
Well,
led
kind of to
a
like,
significant change. Yeah.
kind of
It's-
like,
it's funny because I don't remember readings. That's the biggest thing is when I read tarot, I kind of, you see this, like I just kind of go in it and I just channel it and I just say whatever comes to me. But I never come from a place of like, oh, that I called that. People will come to me and be like, yo, this thing happened. This thing, like I had a girl one time, I first started with oracle cards, with angel cards. And then I went into tarot. And
what's the difference?
oracle cards are more general. They're more like it's the wide angle lens, and then you can get more zoom
Specific
in. Yeah,
with
you
it.
get more coverage
Ooh.
with tarot. Because it gets more specific, more detailed, and all those things.
Okay.
I want
What you want?
you. I want
Me
I want
what?
her- Yeah, I want
Me.
I want her to do- yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
I'll take
I need
it.
to know what the
Can you
hell's
tell?
going
Am I?
on.
I feel
Yeah,
like
you
I'm
need it.
having.
You're-
Well, we can
something's
do many
happening.
things, like that's
Whatever. I don't know. You lead the way. You,
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I think that because for me with tarot, one of the things that Jaina and I talked about before we came in here is, and this was something that I read recently about tarot that I really loved, is at the end of the day, tarot is about telling stories. And that's what we are as actors. So the beautiful thing about it is it really requires you to use your imagination. Now, the idea behind it, and this is where they can debate whether or not you really are tapping into something. I would like to think you are, because we're all connected. But how that is focused is really in your interpretation. So it really just comes down to, like, I remember there used to be a card in one of the first decks I ever got. One of the cards in it is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is overthinking. But in this deck,
Watch me get.
it looks like carcasses. It looks like bones. It looks like all this stuff. When I pulled it, I started crying, weeping tremendously. And taking a step back now, Nine of Swords is in your head. And I was totally in my head about this stupid piece of paper that I pulled out of a stupid deck of cards. It's not stupid, but it's just pieces of paper with things on it. But what it triggers in us and what it unlocks for us. So a lot of times, if I'm stuck on a decision, or if I'm stuck on, like, I'm feeling stuck right now, you pull cards and it's a way to kind of check your energy and check yourself and how you're viewing the world. Because now when I see that card, it doesn't scare me now, because I've grown. I've looked at that card. I've looked at myself and how do I unpack that? So it's very interesting and it's fun. Like, I have a friend of mine, we were talking about it right before we set up. I have a friend of mine who's a writer, and she uses it for her writing prompts. Like, how is my writing going to unfold today? Or how do I get out of this writer's block? How do I get out of this energy? And it's really, it's a really cool way to check yourself.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Well, this girl needs to be checked. I'm just kidding. I love you.
I do.
You want to be checked.
I do.
You want to be checked. I feel.
You feel it now.
You want it.
Yeah, I want it, but I'm terrified and. Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing
Let's do it.
is, yeah, I would say a lot of times what fear is, right? It's just nervous. It's just excitement channeled the wrong way, right?
Oh, okay.
So like sometimes what we can do is we can transmute our fear into excitement, into energy that actually will benefit us. So, if you're ever in this fearful situation,
Always.
just be like,
Always.
but like, here's the deal. Like
Yeah.
our mind is so powerful, like so fucking powerful.
True.
My stepdad used to do hypnosis, and he would do this whole thing where he could hypnotize you because he used to run a pain management center. This is the trippiest stuff. If I find footage, I'll send it to you. He would literally hypnotize someone, say you're not bleeding, pull their skin, stab it with a needle, and they wouldn't bleed. Wouldn't bleed at all. Your mind is so much more capable than you think. So in those moments where you feel fearful, I challenge you to turn around and be like, I'm excited.
Okay.
Just say it and believe it. Just be like, if it's that easy for you to jump into fear, make it that easy for you to jump into excitement.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Which funny you say this because anytime I'm scared to do something, like if I have something happening and I'm like, I don't want to do it. It's out of fear. But then I do it, it happens, and I'm like, that was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, when I'm scared of something, I don't want to get up, I don't want to go, I'm scared. It's like, no, because I think that to me is like something cool is about to happen.
And it's like, what if I'm not scared?
Yeah.
What if I'm excited? And I just don't, I've lived with so much negativity, that this is actually excitement. But I've conditioned myself.
That's what it is.
It's what I learned during auditions. Like change the idea that going into the audition, instead of being nervous, you're actually excited.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
just have a completely different experience.
And that's it. And at the end of the day, that's all we're on this planet to do is just have experiences. Because that's all we can be.
Have you ever done this before?
No.
Oh,
You've never done
whoa!
tarot?
She's a
I don't
tarot
think so.
virgin. She's a tarot virgin, everyone. Hello. dumb. I say the
right.
stupidest things.
I don't think it's
sometimes.
been like
You're a tarot virgin,
this.
Gabby.
There was one-
How do you feel about breaking your cherry on camera?
I'm so excited.
I know. All right.
I'm so glad I'm friends with both of you.
I know. She was,
I just want to take that moment. to
sorry,
say that.
we're just silly.
I just want to say. Do you have a specific question, or you just want to see what comes up?
Can I scream?
Whoa, you are
Sorry.
freaking out. You know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm rubbing her belly right now. I'm just trying to ground her.
So yeah, so it's just a matter of really making that real for yourself and just allowing yourself. So yeah, I mean, once you get into the practice of it, you can do 3 breaths and you're grounded. I think it's just building a habit. It might, like, riding a bike. It might take a little longer to get there first,
Right.
but once you start in it,
It's probably Amazon.
I love it.
Damn, they're very.
Damn, they're like,
Very
we are here.
incessant.
I
We-
know.
Doorbell thing?
Huh?
It's like your doorbell. buzzer.
Yeah, from downstairs. Yeah,
I love it.
I know.
No, it's good. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. She looks, and I feel like you feel different. 'Cause I
And so,
can
like
see
the
it.
bracelet I gave her, that selenite, that's what this is. So this meditation is that in stone form. So I would say,
Oh, this the stone.
yeah. So I would say pick up selenite if that's something you're open to,
Okay.
and just whenever you're feeling that way, just hold on to that and breathe, because that's what that does. Is it's basically like it's like a metal detector of energy, just making sure bad energy doesn't come in and good energy only stays in.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
Let's go. All right. So, angel, spirit guides, higher power, please envelop me in the white light of protection. Blocks out any negative energy and energy that does not serve Gabby and only lets in love light. And energy that helps Gabby ascend to her highest good. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. You don't need to be nervous.
Do you have a question?
I do, but I am nervous to ask it because I don't want it to sound egotistical or like,
Do you have siblings? Okay.
like I don't want it to be like, oh, why are you worried about that? But there is a reason why I worry about that.
Well, I mean, the thing is like you don't have to front load. We want to
Okay.
just see what comes out, and then it can prompt you.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that.
3 cards. Oh no, not yet. Didn't cut. You have a choice to make, though.
What's my choice?
Well, it's a little define it. Three cards for Gabs. 3 cards for Gabs. 3 cards for. You just have a lot of tension. There's a lot of pressure. Like I feel you grinding your teeth. I feel you. I feel there's a lot of jaw. There's a lot of jaw tension. Damn. And it's tight in your heart. Like I feel it right here. There's like a tightness to you. Yeah, I don't know who this is, but you're not in charge of everything. So don't put that burden on yourself. It's not yours to carry. It's not yours to carry. I don't know who that is, but it's not. Baby, you're putting too much on you. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Just makeup. Makeup.
3 cards. Can I move this? This is in my way.
That shot that I did it. Yep, she's good.
Here, 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 here. The Tower came up before. Oh, baby, you gotta play. You gotta play to make. You're in this duality. This is your head. So the Fool is a new start. But this is where you're at right now. You are in this place where you're looking behind you. You're looking, how do I say this? So you could be the Fool. The Fool is a new start. The Fool is leaping blindly and imagining, it's like jump and the parachute will appear. It's this idea of you are stuck as the King of Swords. There's something about you energetically where you're in your head and you feel that you need to be almost led to calmer waters, that you will find happiness that way. When in fact, you need to take the reins and you just need to dive headfirst into whatever it is you want to make happen for yourself. You have all the knowledge you want. The king is the king is the highest court card in thought. So the way that tarot works is you have the major arcana and the minor arcana. The minor arcana are cups, pentacles, wands, and swords. Swords are thoughts. Wands are actions. You're in your head about having to kind of move towards a happiness that you envision for yourself rather than jumping into what brought you joy as a child, what brought you joy, like just blindly jumping. But a new start is on the horizon if you're able to move yourself forward and move yourself away from the tethers of how you thought your happy home was going to be. The thing is your book ended by happiness. Yellow is the card of the sun. It's joy. But I think there's an initiative that you're hesitant about taking where you're putting your happiness in your own hands as opposed to being led to your happiness. But you have the happiness within you. There's a start that's on the horizon. You just need to choose it. So the choice is either be led to happiness or what's the little jumping towards? What's the Fool jumping towards? To a new opportunity, a new passion, and a real sense of generosity and stability. Whereas if you go this way, there is opportunity. You're not, okay, so here's something that might actually help you. You're going to win either way. Either choice you make is going to lead you into something good. You're gonna 4 wands. Is this for both? Is that just for that? Is that for that? For both. Either way, you're moving forward. You're closing a chapter in your life and you're celebrating with friends. Either way, you're going to win. So take the burden off of am I making the right choice? Am I making the wrong choice? The issue at hand is this one will feel like a more passionate move forward, and this one will give you the stability you want. There's something about, like, you're going to win either way. Don't worry about it, but you're going to have more fun and you're going to feel more fulfilled going the way where you take the lead and you make the leap of faith and you just trust yourself as opposed to being led. Is any of this making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other questions? Do you want a more explanation, clarification?
I don't know. Because that's always my answer. I don't know. So why is it so hard for me to see clear? Because I always go to the, I don't know. I don't know.
Seven of Swords, you're always feeling like you're fighting. You're always feeling like you have to prove yourself, like there's something you have to stand on. You have to always fight to, like you have to fight. You have to fight to prove that you exist. You have to fight to prove that you matter. And you know, if you look, you don't need to. Like that's, yeah, you just need to shift your outlook. You're shifting is the thing. Like the tower popped out when I was shuffling before, and you're having a moment right now where you're realizing where you're at now, how you're acting, and you react to situations. There, you know, notice the moth there, the transformation. How you're feeling now is not working for you. It doesn't feel good. You're closing that chapter. You're moving forward. The thing about the Chariot is it's basically the Sphinxes. This might have been an emotion, a feeling that you've been feeling since July, but it's this idea of like, I need to take the reins of my own career. I need to take the reins of my own life. I need to take whatever mysticism is out there, channel it within me, and move forward. And the truth is you're on your way to do it. I mean, if we read this linearly, you have all the knowledge you need to make a new start, to move away from troubled stuff to your happiness. But the way that it was pulled out to me is you are just in your thoughts. You're very decisive about how you act because you're very cerebral. And so you can either go two ways. You can either stay in your head and be successful, or you can take a leap and be more passionate, be more enthused, have more fire under you, and feel more generous. Because only the Ace of Pentacles popped out here, but the Queen of Pentacles popped out here. So yes, something new is here, but something lasting stays when you start taking the reins. You feel like you have to fight. Okay, advice for Gabby to overcome this angst. These bad fucking lovers. You need to start working on trusting your intuition more. I don't know if that's journaling in the morning. I don't know if it's, maybe even if this is something that, that feels good to you, if this is something that you want to delve more into, maybe getting an oracle deck and just pulling a card a day and journaling about what that card means to you, represents to you. But the thing is you're being divinely guided to start making choices that are, so major arcana are things that are going to happen to you. The minor arcana, the things with the numbers on it, like, or the seven, the swords, the things that aren't these major cards. The major cards are the universe working for you. So it's kind of like the cruise control of the universe. But the minor arcana are free will. So those are the things that can kind of change on a dime. But the Lovers is popping out for you a lot right now, which means that the Lovers before used to be called the Choice. And it was this idea of there's something passionate lining up for you, but there's also a decision you need to be making. And that's what's coming through for me. And the High Priestess is about intuition. And I think it's this idea of moving forward and acting on the intuition. So I think your advice is to build your connection to your intuition is really what's coming through for me. And to me, what comes through is meditation, free journaling, where you don't even have a prompt. You just write. You can even write, this sucks. Jacqueline told me to write in this journal. This is stupid. This is stupid. This is stupid. Just do that for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden stuff is going to start pouring out. In the morning, waking up, talking to yourself and just being like setting the intention, your gratitude intention, but really starting to tap into that inner knowledge. It's like kind of knocking on the door for you. It really wants to be seen. It really wants to be heard. But you have a lot of potential here. There's the new opportunities on the horizon for you. Either way you go, but you're moving forward, and this is a new start for you. This is almost like a wake-up call for you to just kind of get out of your head. Don't feel like you need to fight to be seen, and already make the decision that you are seen, and that whatever you need to be seen as long as you see yourself from within. That High Priestess is intuition, divine intuition. As long as you see yourself, everybody can go fuck themselves. Genuinely. So yeah, it's a wake-up call. It's you waking up to purpose. Like, okay, if the only person I need to do right by is myself, fuck everyone else, genuinely. If the only person that needs to, like, what does my heart call me to do? And I think you're putting a lot of expectation on yourself. You're allowing this Seven of Swords. He's fighting all these swords outside of him, but he could just as easily walk away. He doesn't need to prove himself to anyone. You don't have to prove yourself. You're the King of Swords. You're mastermind. You already have everything you need in your head to move forward. So instead of being in your head, I challenge you to just act on the impulse. Now, I'm not saying get like a face tattoo tonight, but I'm just saying, like start playing with intuition. Like something that I do constantly is I energy check myself. So like you'll see me when I'm looking at cards and stuff, I kind of relax my shoulders. And this is something you can do after you do that meditation where you ground yourself. You can kind of, when you're standing, if you're aligned, you can say, show me yes, and you'll fall forward. You can say no, and you fall backwards. Another way to do that is you put your hands like this, show me yes, or show me no. And like those are different ways. So for me, I do a head tilt. I channel, I go, is this where this card is supposed to be? When my head goes forward, that's yes. Is this card supposed to be over here? When I channel, it goes no. So I make a lot of decisions based on my intuition, based on that. But it's developing what that practice is for yourself. I just think you're not trusting yourself. There's something about you not trusting yourself, and this might be the wake-up call for you to trust yourself. And I would even argue that like be in a space right now where if people ask something of you, really channel. Is this something I should be taking on right now? Take the logic out of it innately. Is this something I should be taking on right now? Is this something I shouldn't be? And it could just be even that easy and just being like, I can't tell you why. Like understand, no is a full sentence. No is a full sentence. Mm-hmm. And you're allowed to say that sentence. But yeah, you are at odds with yourself because you feel like you need to be of, it's like you have to be of service, but you have to prove something. And you got nothing to prove. It's trying to ask you to turn, like if the Hermit came up, you got nothing to prove. And you're starting to wake up to that. But you have a new beginning set up in front of you that's going to lead you, no matter what path you choose, it's going to lead you forward. But you can't be in your head. You got to start swinging that sword, essentially.
Wow. I'm always in my head.
Whoa. Yeah.
Any other energy?
I think we're good. I know, Went a little over, but I think that was
Spirit guide.
That was very.
As we close this portal, please only allow light. Girl, there's like a maternal energy on the other side, and they're really excited for you to like they're like, ay, es muy pesado. It's just too heavy. You're carrying something, girl. You're carrying something that's too heavy and it's not yours to carry. And they're really excited about you waking up to the fact that you are going to start, like it's heavy. It feels like rocks. It feels like rocks on your back. And someone on the other side just wants you to it's not yours. It's not yours. And they're really excited for you to shed the weight, shed the dead weight, just shed it. And it's someone maternal. And they want you, they're like, please don't, por favor, like just don't do this. It's not yours. It's not yours. Live your life. It's not yours. Is that it? Please?
Yes.
We got it close. No, I'm talking to them. Please. You done? Well, yeah. She's mad at me. Okay, so Angel Spirit Guides, she'll talk to you later. Angel Spirit Guides, higher power, please envelop us in white light of protection. Please close this channel. Gabby, just talk to her later, bro. Thank you. Okay. Please close this portal, but please continue enveloping us in a white light of protection that only blocks out negative energy, but allows positive energy to help us ascend to our greater good and thus uplift the good of all humanity. And so it is, and so it is. All right, now we're done.
Woo! Thank you so much.
That was
ha. Well, this was an experience.
This was,
like you said. I mean, yeah. We
I hope
needed
it made sense.
No,
but
it
felt
it
good.
does.
And the
Yeah.
fun thing is like I think everyone can learn, right?
Yeah.
Like people, you'll be like, oh man, I feel that. It's easier for you to kind of. I learned something about myself every time I read because again, it's me interpreting those cards. So how I feel today is going to affect how I interpret it today, and how I affect that entire spread could come up for you, and I would interpret it completely differently.
Oh.
You know, and so it's all energy. It's all how we're feeling on the day, but it's also a really good vibe. And it's like, and see how it's like, it's not predictive. It's just ideas to think about, to check yourself with. And that's where I come from when I do tarot is, you know, I'll be like, what's the energy around this situation? You know, what's the energy around Gabs? What does she need to hear right now? And that's where I come from with that. But yeah, that was, I just felt it here. I just felt it right here. That was whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
I never experienced that before with tarot with you, where someone just couldn't stop. You had to tell them.
It was
Enough.
wild. Yeah.
Enough. Like, okay.
And I think it is that, you know, for you personally, and we can talk about it after, but it is that energy of just like part of trusting your intuition is understand that your intuition comes from years and years of you and who's in your blood, you know? So part of intuition is not just tapping into you as you, Gabby, and you as a person in your past lives, if you believe in that, but all the people that survived to make you right now, you know? Like that's something really interesting that we never think about. Like I always say about that. I talked about that at Marilyn's, you know, baby shower, where like a lot of times we're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And scientifically, our blood contains mitochondria from our first mother. So we technically have a piece of history in our blood. And so what if we jumped into that cell and asked it where it went, what its history has been?
Yes.
You have history in you. So you just need to open up yourself to it.
Wow.
I definitely felt that. No,
Yeah.
seriously, I actually just heard something yesterday. But thank you. That was
Thank you so
beautiful.
much.
Very deep.
I hope it
very
helps something.
intimate. And
Yes.
we loved getting to know a little bit more about you and your awesomeness. So
Your awesomeness.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thanks for having me. This was fun. I didn't know what to
again,
expect.
I want to appreciate your costume. I actually don't want you to take it off.
I know.
because It's so good.
Let's go to Trader Joe's.
Anyway, right? Thank you for tuning in
Thank
for
you,
this
guys.
episode of After We Wrap with Jacqueline Grace Lopez.
And yeah.
I'm Jaina and Ortiz.
And I'm Gabriella Ortiz.
And we'll see you next week.
Drink water.
Bye, guys. Drink water. Bye.